Hey, everybody out there, welcome back to 91.8 The Fan. It is your favorite holiday-themed host, the DJ Christmas, and I have with me a super special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself to all the fans out there?
Of course. Hello. My name is Morgan Garrett.
Hello,
And
Morgan.
hello. Down
And
here in sunny Texas.
yes, sunny, 100-degree weather, Texas.
Yes, sweaty, hot, disgusting, beautiful Texas.
Sounds like loads of fun. But it hasn't been as bad as it usually is in Texas. I think I don't know if it was last summer or the summer before. It was like 100 days total over 100 degrees,
Yeah.
like that.
That was
That's
2 summers ago.
that's insane. Ugh.
Barely breathe.
But there's always the big argument between like the Southwest people and the Northeast people. It's like, oh well, you don't have any humidity. It's all a dry heat. Heat is heat.
Heat is heat. That's exactly right. And we do have humidity down here. It does feel disgusting when you walk out.
Yeah, but I guess there are some days here in the Northeast where I'm breathing more water than air, and it's just terrible.
Like you put a wet towel on when you walk outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to make sure you don't leave your clothes in the washer because they'll just sit there and stay damp, and then
It smells horrible for years.
like you'll take a shower, hang your towel up to dry, it doesn't dry. It just sits there staying wet.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know it's but enough about the
Bacteria.
weather. That's my go-to whenever I start something. It's
Of
like
course.
let's talk about the weather because
Yeah, everyone's go-to. Elevator talk.
New Hampshire's weather is so much different from Texas weather, and that's where most of our people we talk to Texas people and Los Angeles people, and the weather there is usually hotter than the weather here. But we were talking a little bit before we got started about how you are part of, as I like to call it, the latest generation of Funimation actors, as opposed to the people who, like Mike McFarlane and Justin Cook, who got started when it was just an office in the same building as a bank. How exactly did you and the rest of the new guys get into the business?
well, it started at actually Shakespeare Dallas, which is like a Shakespeare in the Park here. And that was me, Aaron, Austin. We were all three in a show down there. And I'm sitting making hardly any money next to a girl who's driving a great car. And that was Lydia Mackey. And I said, how do you make money? And she said, girl, I do voiceovers. And I was, oh, you do voiceovers? Okay. Well, do you have to have an agent for that? And she said, no, I do it at Funimation. And I said, oh, well, can you get me in? She said, no, I'm so sorry. You have to know a director. And I went, oh, well, I don't know any directors, I guess, because I'm in the advertising business. So I just went on my merry way. Well, later she mentioned Joel McDonald. And Joel is actually also in the Dallas scene. And he's one of the directors at Funimation. And I had been actually in a murder mystery dinner where I killed him every night. So
Oh,
I was bludgeoning him over the head, and we just kind of came in, did our work, got paid, and went home. Well, I had his phone number in my phone. So I immediately picked up the phone because I'm so excited. Oh, my God, I'm going to get into voiceovers. I picked up the phone, called him, and he said, hey, Morgan, what's up? I said, why didn't you tell me you were a director at Funimation? And he said, well, because everybody that calls me or that I tell that to, they want me to get them into voiceovers. And I went, oh, okay. Great
well, now
talking
this
to
is
you. Yeah, exactly. I went, oh, good talking to you. I just wanted to catch up. And I got off the phone because I didn't want to be one of those girls. So a couple weeks later, he's working on Deadman Wonderland.
oh,
And he
Deadman
calls and
Wonderland.
says, yeah. He calls and says, hey, I just had 3 girls cancel. And I work
Oh,
like really close to Funimation. He said,
wow.
I just had all these girls. Yeah, exactly. And he said, can you come in? And I went, oh, sure. So I jumped in the car real fast, ran over there. I went into the booth and screamed and did all these little voices and got cut in half. And, I was a baby and a mouse and whatever you want to name it. I started doing all these voices, and I guess he liked me. So then the next week, he called me in for another show, Walla again. And then the very next week, Tyler Walker calls and says, hey, can you come in for an audition? So I went in, ended up making it for, Is It a Zombie? For Seraphim.
Wow, you're going
And the
straight
funny thing,
from Joel to
yeah,
Tyler. Tyler's one of the big guys.
yeah, I had 6 hours when I went in with Tyler.
Wow.
And so did Austin. Austin Tyndale did not have hardly any hours either, but he was also part of the Shakespeare Dallas group that went in.
Now, let's back up to there's a few key points of this story that I'm a little interested by. One, 3 girls cancels on Deadman Wonderland?
It was Walla.
That's...
You know, because so the Walla where they bring in like all the actors to make all the extra voices.
Right. That it
Yeah,
just strikes me as weird that it would be Deadman Wonderland because well, I've watched Deadman Wonderland. We'll leave it at that. But it's just
one
funny.
Of them was like hungover.
Oh wow! It's just funny that it's coincidentally Deadman Wonderland because that's just one of those series. Like I'm not sure I can like scream over a series like this because Deadman Wonderland it's not for kids.
No.
I still can't look at that scene. I think it's like episode 4 where Crow gets his spoilers. By the way, I'm going to spoil something real quick. Crow gets his eye pulled out, and yeah, and they white it out, they censor it and everything, but I can't even look at it. It's like that's
it was bad, and that was my first experience. So I'm in here watching this video because they let you watch a little bit before your line.
Right,
and
right.
I'm first time there. I'm trying to learn all the beats or whatever, and all I did was go in there and be like dying and hurting and burning and being cut in half, and it was bad. Like,
yeah.
This is anime. Okay.
That's crazy. And yeah, you said Lydia was the first one, and I haven't talked to Lydia in forever.
She's amazing.
She really is.
And I went in thinking, because she was the one who referred me, so they were like, oh, yeah, you actually remind me of Lydia. So when I went in for Seraphim and I auditioned, I dropped my voice really low so I could be kind of like Lydia, and I got the role. I got the role being Lydia!
That's awesome. And then, yeah, I would say the last point is you were killing Joel McDonald. Right? The way that Joel tweets sometimes, I can see how some people would enjoy doing that.
He's a trip for sure.
He's a lot of fun. It's him, and I think Sabat has recently awakened his inner Twitter, and that's a scary thought because I've seen. I don't know how much you know about Sabat's pranks.
Sabat.
Yeah, because Sabat's got his own studio, and whenever it would be a thing, it's like, do not forget to log out of your Facebook if you are at Okatron because you will be hit by Sabat. I think my favorite one is John Swayze's favorite sport was changed to cuddling. It's just one of those things. And then there are a couple of other people who are terrible. Travis Willingham is possibly one of the worst people because he'll get into because he does Texas and LA, so he'll get onto some LA people's Twitter, or Liam O'Brien will get into some people's Twitter, and it's just a fight back and forth between Liam, Travis, and Laura, and they're all the worst. They're all horrible.
I need to tweet more.
It's pretty entertaining to watch when I'm just, I'm at work at 2 a.m. because I work overnights at a gas station, and all of a sudden you'll see a tweet from like Liam O'Brien's like, I eat baby farts, or something like that. I'm like, oh my god, Travis got Liam's Twitter again.
It's so random, too. You never know.
And you have to play against him, like, who hit who? It's just one of those ridiculous things.
Yeah.
But now, in addition to getting into, as we mentioned, zombie is one of the things that a lot of you newer guys got into, but Toriko is full of a lot of fresh faces, too. What's it like being on Toriko?
Oh, that was the best show. First of all, Tina is me.
Right.
That kind of frantic, sometimes you're screaming and then you're always eating. So it was the perfect show for me. Plus, I have food allergies. So if I eat something that doesn't agree with me, I burp, and I burp, and I burp. And it was perfect. They would sit there for 20 minutes and record me burping for that show, and then just plug them in places.
Oh, my God.
I know. And then when we did the commentary, we would have like we'd cook all the foods we made, and all Tina ate was like rice and soy sauce, or fruit and soy sauce, or something in soy sauce. It was a really fun show. And it's outrageous. Have you ever tried watching? You've watched it, obviously.
Yeah,
But late at night
I
when
think
you're
I have
super tired.
I think I have like the first 4 DVDs. I need to
Yeah.
double check because I've only watched like the first 2, so I'm at like episode 26, but I got to catch up. But one of
It's
the
on Hulu too.
yeah, it's on Hulu. It's everywhere. But one of the neat things about Tina is she's like almost the anti-narrator because she's at the end of every episode.
Right.
So you're one of those people who's you always have to be around to. Hey, we need you to just do this quick line, talk about what happened at the end of this episode.
Right. And that's it, just at the end. I think I was in the first couple, actually in the episode, but mainly they just throw me on to put a button on it.
Yeah, and it's just one of those
Make
things.
noises.
Because it starts with Chris Guerrero and it ends with you, and that's how every episode goes. And we did a double with Josh and Ian about Toriko when it was at its peak, and when I first started watching Toriko, it started coming out simulcast. It's a show that you can't watch hungry. You cannot watch it hungry.
It's so true. Ian was so into that show too. He loved it, and he's a cook.
Yeah,
we talked about that. So he would bring in some of the food.
He's crazy.
During the show.
And now, of course, there are a few other things here and there. Is there anything specific that you want to highlight to the fans that they should definitely check out that you're allowed to talk about?
Let me think. I was just Kiaya in oh my gosh. I can't think. I think I did a show with Joel. But it's been so long because I record them and then it's like a year and then they're released.
Yeah.
Oh, what is it? I can't remember what it's called, which is terribly embarrassing.
Well, there's all sorts of stuff going on. Of course, there's Index. Hopefully the second season of Index gets released soon. I know season 1 just came out. They just did the first season of Index and Railgun, and those are out. And you do Kaori, which is loads of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I'm the only person around the website, especially the staff, that still keeps up with One Piece. And Kiwi and Mozu are a lot of fun. She's
yelling. We yell the whole time, pretty much.
And do you just do that one at a time, or since they're like so intertwined, do you go in there and do it together?
No, we do it one at a time, and usually she records first, and then I'll come in and just kind of try to match her.
Yeah,
we don't ever really do it together.
Yeah, I can't really think of any time that any anime session has been like all together.
It's Tenchi Muyo.
Tenchi Muyo, the new Tenchi.
I just remembered it.
That's right.
Yeah, the War on the Geminar. That's the other big one that I did, and then of course the One Piece. I think that's on Toonami, right?
Yep, that is on Toonami. I forget what episode they're at on Toonami, but I know the DVDs.
I think I come in like a month.
Yeah.
On actually airing.
Yeah, Kiwi and Mozu, they first show up in like 233, and I'll have to double check. Let me just. You talk about stuff while I check Adult Swim schedule.
In One Piece, when Mike brought me in, because he's got so many people to cast in that show. He's just every time there's new blood that walks into Funimation, he goes, "Okay, come in, I need you." So I went in for my first time, and he's like, "Okay, you're gonna be, here's TV and Mozu, but I need some other things filled. What else can you do?" Well, I'm pretty new, so I was like, "Well, I can try anything you want." He said, "Well, let's start with a mouse. Can you be the mouse in One Piece?"
You're Tyrannosaurus?
I am.
That's awesome.
So he goes, "Can you squeak?" And I said, "Of course I can squeak. I'm a girl." He goes, "Well, let's hear it." So I started squeaking. He's like, "That's perfect." So we started plugging in all these squeaks everywhere. And "Can you squeak and it sound like a question?" "Sure." So that was really fun. But I was also in Toriko. I was the Peachita.
Oh,
they may have renamed because there was like that big that squirrel that comes that it tails like a peach and then it pops out of the ground and starts screaming. Yeah, I did that too. And now the Chris Sabat's like, well, if you could learn a little boy voice, we'll cast you in a bunch of other stuff. I went, okay, so I've been working on a little boy voice.
That sounds like the kind of stuff that Sabat would be working with.
Right. Dear Colleen Clinkenbeard, can you please teach me how to be you? Thank
right.
you.
Okay, so I have
work.
discovered this week's One Piece is episode 221. So
So it's coming up.
yeah, it's definitely wow, it's coming up quick. I remember watching it, and this is like a little mini filler arc, which is it's not the worst. It's actually based on a video game. I think these 5 episodes or so where everybody gets their memories stolen away. Which it's always interesting when a show will adapt something that is already out there instead of just making it up off the cuff. It's one of those things where, well, at least it's already existed and they're acknowledging it.
Yeah.
But and then I think after like that first episode, Kiwi and Mozu don't show up again for a while. But the DVDs I've got, they're doing a lot of stuff in Annie's lobby, cutting up giant shoes and stuff, which is always loads of fun.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think we're going to take a quick musical break, so don't fret. I will be back with my special guest. You're not going anywhere, are you?
Nope, I'm right here for you.
Okay, good, because that would be really awkward.
Just come back dead air, nothing.
It's like, well, she left me.
Let's just talk about the weather in New Hampshire.
Talk about the weather again. But we will be back, so don't go anywhere. Keep it tuned to 91.8 The Fan, because we play everything you want and nothing you don't. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I am still your favorite holiday-themed host, and I still have my special guest. Are you still here, special guest?
I'm still here.
Okay,
Did
good.
not leave.
Good. We've had a couple times where we'll say, hey, we're back, and our special guest is been dropped from the call. We'll go back to break real quick.
No! That's terrible.
It's just one of those things, well, you can't fix live radio. But we have plugged most of your big stuff, but before we head out, we mentioned anything special left that you would absolutely tell the fans that they have to go out and buy right now that you're allowed to talk about.
Oh, gosh. Is there anything? I don't think so. You were mentioning Haganai?
Yep, I've got a cheat sheet, so I'm just like, let's see.
You're looking downstairs?
Yeah.
No, that show marked the start of a lot of, I call them booby shows.
Well, I don't think it was the start of it, but it was definitely at, I think, the peak of it. There's Haganai, there's High School DxD, and there's Freezing. And those are the ones that I can immediately pull out. They've been pretty big for the past year or two. So
yes, and there's other ones, but I can tell you the last 3 shows that I worked on have been horrible when it comes to that sort of thing. So I actually use this pseudonym.
Ah.
Because I'm a pastor's kid. So any show that I worked on that was like that, I switched my name, and it was funny because I was in Colleen's booth, and she said, hey, we're going to start working today. I got to warn you, just be ready, and flashed the first scene where there's, boobs and people touching people. And she said, why don't we use a different name? And I said, you know what, because she saw the horrified look on my face. And I went, you know what, I think that's a great idea. So she said, let's make you up a name. Let's do it. I went, okay. She goes, what month were you born? I said, September. She goes, that won't work. So we ended up coming to kind of a stripper name, I would say, that is for all the booby shows.
Well, I actually recently got my copy of Haganai in the mail, so I am going to take a look at some of the credits, I think, after this interview. That's always fun when you get to one of those shows where you know a voice and you know that person is that voice, and then you look at the credits and like, oh, they're using a different name for this show. Yeah.
So you'll know.
I think Leah actually said something recently. Is like, there's always a few different reasons for using a different name. Like, if you don't want to have people that aren't paying attention and they know voices like you don't want them to necessarily know that you're a part of that show. It's
Yeah.
it's not that you don't want to be recognized for it. It's just that you don't want to be, uh, I guess, seen in a different light for doing something along the lines of freezing. I think freezing is probably one of the better
Yeah.
examples lately. There's
Yeah.
freezing. Uh, I think the other studio in Texas, Sentai Filmworks, they've had a couple like that where I'll be able to name every single person there. I think Monica might be in that show because she bounces back between the two studios. And I'm like, oh, that's Monica. That's not Monica's name. Everyone,
That's not her name.
everyone's using a different name, and I've talked to a couple people, and it was like, is it cool that we say that you're in this show, and we can talk? It was like, and sometimes it's like, yeah, since it was just a crazy booby show, we just use crazy fake names, and I don't. Some people will mind, but it's like off air. We always ask, is like, is it okay if like you used an assumed name for a reason? Can we pull back the curtain and let people know?
I just know my grandmother's like, oh, honey, you're doing voiceovers. I'm so proud. As soon as she searches my name and boobs pop up, I'm going to get a call.
Yeah,
Or,
and
or my boyfriend goes, oh, if I ever run for office, we don't want this on there.
yeah, and it always surprises me what some people don't really care about. Like, I think Leah went with her real name for Deadman Wonderland, and Leah's character in Deadman Wonderland is probably the most uh, mature thing about Deadman. It's like I don't
You
know
never know.
how much you've seen besides just the Wally you did, but uh,
It's pretty
Leah
bad.
Leah has a mouth, and she does use it.
Dang! Now I have
Yeah,
to see it.
yeah. I would give it a look. Just watch out for that eye scene in like episode 4 ish. Uh,
No, and you have to decide what you're okay with. Like, are you okay with a couple camel toes? Are you okay with a little bit of cleavage? And then where does it end? Like, where do
yeah,
you go? Okay, I'm not real sure if I'm okay with my name on this one.
and there's varying levels. Like obviously, Haganai isn't one of those high paced action series. Like it's not one of those battle booby animes like Freezing is. It's just one of those, you know, high school booby animes, and
Right.
it's there's different levels. Like you've got Haganai. I'd say a step up from that is probably High School DxD and Freezing, and then you have
Mhm.
gratuitous blood and gore and various amounts of swearing in Deadman Wonderland. So
Gary Jewell seems to get most of the booby movies right now.
Jerry is crazy because I was listening to the trailer for Haganai, and it's like, oh, it's all these new female voices that I'm still not 100% familiar with, and oh, Jerry. Hello, Jerry.
That's it. That's why.
It was like, you're not new. You've been around the block. I know your voice.
No, Jerry's a sweetheart. I love him.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. But other
He's
than
kind of like
that,
Tyler. He likes new voice.
yeah. Other than that, there's obviously we talked about Zombie. I don't know when season 2 of that is set to come out. Is this a Zombie of the Dead? Let me see. Is this a Zombie of the Dead? Obviously, I have done my research beforehand.
Well, that's not any worse than me going, what was that show that I was Kiaya in? I don't know. I can't
But there is
remember.
there is also that the new Tenchi Muyo War on Geminar. Come on. I'll check this Funimation link. If anyone knows, it's Funimation, but their site takes a while to load. So as we wait for that, we talked
Too
about
much
Index.
disconnect.
We talked about Index. Obviously, you can't say anything confirm or deny about season 2, but I think Funimation has the subtitled streaming rights for that, so that might make an appearance in the near future. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, there is Guilty Crown is set to come out soon,
Yeah, it is.
and
There's
I
a
am,
lot of new people on that one, too.
yeah, a lot of newer people, and then of course some old hands like Micah, this and that. Oh, this is just streaming stuff. This tells me nothing, Funimation. Anyway, I guess uh, I'm not sure, but be on the lookout for Is This a Zombie of the Dead? I know season 1 is definitely out, so check that out.
Right.
And that's one of the good things about some of these series like Freezing and Zombie and Haganai is that they're only like 12 or so episodes. So in addition to being nice and easy to watch, they're also not very expensive. So you can just head onto
Right.
Amazon and drop 30, $40 and get yourself a nice DVD Blu-ray combo pack. But other than that, is there any other work that you would like to promote to the fans? I know you said that you got started in theater stuff. Do you have any big theater shows coming up that you want any Texas area people to come check you in?
Yes, thank you. I'm doing Shakespeare Dallas. We're doing Winter's Tale, and that opens the end of September.
Oh,
So
cool.
bring your blanket and a bottle of wine.
We're very sophisticated here at Shakespeare Dallas.
Very sophisticated. That's right. You put our T's and D's and K's and everything.
Just bring your favorite vintage and come watch our show.
Yeah. I know nothing about wine, so I don't even know what I'm talking about.
I'm not a wine drinker myself either. I've had it a couple times. Like we'll get together at Thanksgiving and it's like, hey, want to try some wine? I'm like, yeah. No.
Sure. It tastes exactly the same as last time.
Yeah. Still nothing. I hear
Nothing.
I hear that some of them are better than others, but it's the red ones that I've tried, and I'm not too crazy about them.
Oh, yeah. Well, they bite your mouth.
Yeah.
Hey, has Eureka 7 come out?
Eureka 7, Astral Ocean. I think it's set to.
Okay, that was kind of that was a fun one.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I think that was like one of their latest announcements.
Yeah.
Of like it's like here's a trailer for Astral Ocean. Can I pre-order it on Amazon? I don't think I can pre-order it. It's one of those things where whenever they announce something, I will go to rightstuff.com, which is mostly for anime and manga stuff, and see what the price is there, and then I'll go to Amazon to see what the price is on Amazon, and I'm like, okay, which one is cheaper for the thing that I want?
No, in that show, I remember that one. That stands out to me because that is the highest I've ever gotten in my register.
Okay.
So
Part 1 is out. Oh damn! Part 1's out tomorrow. Oh no, it came out yesterday.
Perfect.
It just came out.
Good. Okay.
So that is out.
Shameless plug.
Part 2 will be out in October.
Cool. Yeah, so that was a fun one just because, being new, I'm still learning my voice, and it lives very low. And in this show, when I went in with Zach, he goes, how high can you go? And I said, well, let's just try.
Oh, and now that I'm actually on Amazon, I can find it. Zombie Season 2 is out September 24th. So pre-order that. Wow, the list price is $65, but I guess it's on sale for only $29, especially if you've got Amazon Prime. So if you want to get it, now is the time.
Yeah.
I saw a sale like that the other day because an LA voice actor that I talked to, his name is also Chris Smith. So we have a kindred spirit. We chat all the time, and it's like, yeah, I've been bouncing back between LA and Funimation, and I'm in this show that just got announced. It's the Future Diary.
Yeah.
And they split that into 2 parts. I think the regular version of Part 1, it either just came out or it comes out in a week or so. But the limited edition doesn't ship until Part 2 does at the end of September. And the limited edition comes in like a harder case box that Part 2 also fits in right next to it. It's one of the neat little things I like that Funimation does sometimes with when they split things into 2 seasons or 2 parts. They'll give you one big box to just stick them both in.
Yeah.
I think they did that with
nice.
like Shakugan no Shana and stuff like that. So I took a look at the limited edition Part 1, which is normally like $60, and it's like on sale today for $35, and well, gotta buy it. I need to buy it right now before it is not on sale anymore. So,
right.
If something is coming out in like a month or so, keep an eye on it on Amazon, and you might be able to take advantage of a sale. And it's one of those things where it's either that or wait until the Christmas sales pop up, because those are always handy.
Oh, that's a good time.
Yeah. Right Stuff, they have their 12 days of sales for a bunch of stuff, and they bundle stuff together. It's like, save this much when you buy this much Funimation stuff, or this much Viz Media stuff, or this much manga, or that much random shirts. And it's a lot of fun. As somebody who likes to collect box sets, uh, and I do like to collect box sets, I've got, if I stack them all up, they'd probably be taller than I am.
Where do
Uh,
you keep them?
I I I went to Anime Boston a couple years ago. I think it was around the time that Princess Jellyfish was the big thing, and I got this nice, decent sized Princess Jellyfish tote bag, and I just keep all the ones that I need to still watch in that tote bag, and it fills it completely to the top. But other than that, I've got just one of those big um, Tupperware sliding drawer bins that fit
Oh, okay.
a decent amount in there.
I imagined all the boxes like lined up, and then you put your mattress on top of it.
Well, that'd be pretty neat if I could do something like that. I think I need to invest in some wall shelves. I don't have a whole lot of room in my room.
Yeah.
My room is basically, I want to say it's like a maybe 50 square foot loft area where it's got enough room for my bed, my dresser, and my computer. So that's just where I reside.
Yeah, that's all you need.
That's
And then
all I
put shelves all along the top, and then tell your little you have like a Beauty and the Beast ladder. You just climb up and grab the one you want to watch.
exactly. And there's plenty of stuff to watch. I have absolutely no shortage of anything to watch, especially with all the new stuff coming out. So get your hands on the new stuff. Like we said, Haganai is out. Part 1 of Eureka 7 is out. And tons of other stuff that Morgan and the new generation are in will be constantly coming out for at least the foreseeable next few months. And I'm sure
Yeah.
you guys are always busy going back and forth, but you can't tell us anything because those blasted non-disclosure agreements.
Ugh, blasted. And I have slipped up a couple times, so I'm
Oh
being careful.
no!
I didn't mean to. I think the actor's voice emailed me one time and asked a question. I was like, "Yeah, I'm working on blah 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 blah." That was what Is It a Zombie 2 started. I was working on that. They asked me if I was
Are you
in the booth.
still? Yeah.
If I was in the booth with Austin, I was like, "Yeah, we're working on season 2. I love it so much." And then I got a call from Tyler like 30 minutes later, and he's like, "What did you do?" I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I knew.
Yeah, that's one of those things where you need to be really careful, and we have been made well aware because some of our first interviews were with people who were well versed, like Liam and Kyle, who have been at it for a while. It's like, yeah, we aren't allowed to talk about absolutely anything until
Yeah.
there's like a trailer and people can guess who's in the trailer from it, and basically you just got to wait for a cast list to be announced, which they usually the summer is the best time to ask around the office when you're allowed to talk about something because big conventions like SakuraCon and Anime Boston and Otakon and Anime Expo, those are when the really big things like Guilty Crown and stuff like that, they will be plugged because they'll devote one convention to one new show, and that's when they tell absolutely everything about that show.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, it's good marketing. It's just for us, we're like, "Oh, can we talk?"
Yeah, you talk to me like I've got, it's like, oh, this show is coming out. I wonder who's going to be in that show, and are they going to have this voice actor for that? Are like any of my favorites going to be in it? Who's directing it? This, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
And some people just watch it just to watch it, but I watch. I'd say it's about a 60-40 split. 60 for the show, 40 for the people in it. And it's like I I will watch something just because someone is in it. I don't care how bad the show is, but if it's got like say Patrick Seitz, I'm gonna watch that because oh
Exactly.
oh Patrick, you and your voice.
Talk to me. You just lay in your bed and just listen.
Yes, Patrick, say more, say more.
Wow. See, that's something we have in common.
With Patrick or just in general?
In general.
Okay, I think everybody has that one voice where like, yes, you are my voice. I want to hear it all the time.
Right. For me,
Uh,
it's Lydia.
Lydia is a good voice to get hooked on. I would definitely recommend paying attention to anything that Lydia Mackey has done.
Right.
But before we let you go, since we are nearing the end of our time together, I was wondering if you would like to participate in a 91.8 The Fan tradition.
Sure.
It's very simple. We
What is
just
it?
ask you to do a quick radio bump for us.
Okay.
All we ask you to do is say, "Hello, my name is," you insert your name. "I do this." You can name specific characters, specific shows, just that you're a voice actor, whatever you want to put there. It's up to you. And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
You're tuned into 91.8 The Fan?
Yes.
Okay.
The only trick is that we do the takes live on air because bloopers are fun.
Oh, no.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. The numbers get mixed around all the time. You won't be the first, and you won't be the last. So whenever you're ready, we can go for a take one.
Okay, we'll do take one. Want to do it now?
Yes, right now.
Oh, okay. My name is Morgan Garrett. I do Toriko as Tina, and Saracen is a zombie, and Kiaya and Tenchi Muyo, and you're tuned into 98.1 The Fan.
Oh, very close, but you flipped the numbers.
Damn it.
Yes, it's 91.8 The Fan. If you want, we can just do the 91.8 at the end and go from there. I will edit it all in post.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
There you go. It's
Okay.
it's a little tricky sometimes if you don't have it right there in front of you. Like I
I
said,
was going to say, I even wrote it down.
that's the worst.
I wrote it down incorrectly.
Oh no. But like I said, you're definitely not the first, and you absolutely won't be the last, I'm sure.
Okay, good.
Numbers are
You
hard.
suck 'em out.
Numbers are hard, guys.
Yeah.
It's really tough sometimes. That Lystexia will get you every time. Right?
I don't do well under pressure.
Don't worry about it. But you've been a lot of fun, wonderful to talk to, and do you have any final words of wisdom for all the fans out there?
Sababi Geish. Which
I don't know what that...
that swallow return strike.
Aha!
And it goes Sababi Geish. And I used to do that all the time when I was doing this. Because that was my first show, so that's my thing.
Words to live by, to be sure.
That's right. Swallow return strike, all day.
But definitely check out the stuff that Morgan and the new crew have been in. Toriko is one of those fantastic shows. If you've been paying attention to the interviews we've been doing lately this year, you'll remember Josh and Ian are absolutely in love with that show because Ian gets to do his power-up sequences, and that's his favorite thing, I think.
That's right. Hey, I did a power-up with Tina.
Really? Tina gets a power-up sequence? I gotta catch up.
She does.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm behind. I'm still in the Regal Mammoth arc, so.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so I gotta...
Red.
All right, I'll have to watch out for that. And you guys watch out for the rest of the music here on 91.8 The Fan because we've got everything you want and nothing you don't.